Welcome to R-TOOLS MAXX, Mersen's free online simulation software that allows you to select a heatsink solution tailored to your application. This tutorial will focus on creating a Mersen Aquasurf design. Sign in to begin finding the heatsink you need. If you do not already have an account, you can create one by entering the email and password you would like to use with your new R-TOOLS account. Click Agree and sign up, and an email will be sent to your inbox with the link and steps to validate your account. Once you are signed in, you will see the project screen, which will display all of your R-TOOLS projects. You can see the status of your projects, its details, and edit, copy, or delete them as needed. To start a new project, click the orange New Project button to begin. You can return to your project menu anytime by clicking the Project button. You start a new project by putting in your project name. You can enter any notes in the description box, and then you can select between mechanically bonded fin or an extrusion for air-cooled projects. For liquid cooling, we currently offer the Aquasurf, our tube-embedded cold plate, which will be the focus for this tutorial. You can then select your preferred units and create your project. The first step is to input your boundary conditions. Input the ambient temperature surrounding your cold plate. Here, you can define the cold plate's base plate volume available for the project. You may specify the width, length, and thickness of the cold plate. Please note that these dimensions do not include pipe headers, which can extend above or below the length of the base plate. Please account for the space your headers will add to your overall design when determining your cold plate's base plate volume. Our engineers are available to support in determining the added volume this is projected to require. Your header design will largely depend on design details such as flow rate, series or parallel design, and other factors. Here, you define the maximum cold plate base plate temperature allowed for your project. If your boundary conditions lie outside of the minimum or maximum inputs allowed by R-TOOLS, please contact our engineering team for your region through the Help button, located on the top right of your screen. They will be able to assist in creating your custom solution. Please also note that all inputs are saved automatically. Even if you close your tab, you can come back to see all of the parameters that you have set. On the Pipe Configuration tab, you will specify boundary conditions for the pipe and fluid. To start, please input the temperature of the fluid entering the cold plate and the maximum allowable pressure drop. To the right, you may select the tube outer diameter and its embedded position in relation to your heat sources. The tube outer diameter will influence the minimum baseplate thickness, so please make corrections to your baseplate dimensions on the previous tab if prompted. You may then specify the tube material you would like to use and select the fluid type for your cold plate. Your fluid selection may be limited based on standard material and fluid compatibility guidelines. On the Source Layout tab, you may place 2D representations of your heat sources on the base plate. You add a heat source by clicking the plus icon. Selecting the pencil icon in the top right corner of your heat source will allow you to label the heat source as well as define its power, size, and placement. You may also drag your heat source to the location you need. You can rotate, copy, center, or delete your heat source using the buttons shown. You can also adjust the zoom on the base plate as well as toggle a snap to grid feature. With snap to grid, the corner of your heat sources will automatically align to the closest grid. If your placed heat sources overlap, your estimated and simulated performance will be incorrect. Please ensure that your heat sources are properly placed. On the Pipe Layout tab, you may place 2D representations of your pipes on your base plate. You will also have a visual representation of where you place your heat sources. You can add a pipe by clicking the plus icon. By selecting the pencil icon at the top of your pipe, you can define the pipe's placement in the X direction. There are 2 configuration options available for pipes, parallel and serpentine, which will change the fluid flow path. Your total flow rate can be entered on this page. The maximum flow rate is dependent on the maximum flow velocity that a pipe of a certain inner diameter can handle before erosion occurs. In parallel, the number of tubes will also affect the overall flow rate. Similar to the last page, you can adjust your view of the layout with zoom. You can also toggle the snap to grid feature. With snap to grid enabled, the corner of your pipes will automatically align to the closest grid. Please note, if your placed pipes overlap or are too close together, your estimated and simulated performance will be incorrect. Tube outer diameter will also limit minimum pipe spacing, so please keep this in mind when designing your cold plate. Moving to the Solution tab, the Project Summary section provides an overview of your project parameters. Clicking Run Simulation will begin running the solution. Even if you close out the tab, the simulation will continue to run. Once the simulation is complete, the solution message may give recommendations to optimize your design. You will also receive a thermal report and model that will be generated on the page. If the simulation results are acceptable and within your project parameters, you can export a PDF report of R-TOOLS MAXX results as well as download a QFIN file. You may go back to any previous tab to make adjustments to your design. However, any changes to your inputs will delete the current simulation results. If you would like to preserve your simulation result, you can go back to the project menu and copy the project. You can then make your changes on the copied file. These files can also be sent to our engineering team with the Quote tab to receive a quote on your design. This concludes our R-TOOLS MAXX tutorial on Mersen's Aquasurf cold plates.